What's up, good world? I was not going to do this, but because I've already taken things apart. But this is for the 2005 Hyundai Sonata, replacing the EGR valve. Like I said, I was not going to do this because I've already taken a lot out so far, but there's not really good instructions or tutorials online about this. And I don't know if the 2001 to 2006 would be the same, but I'm just going to let you know what I've done so far. But let me just show you what the old and the new look like. Okay, this is the old EGR valve right here. I just took it out. It has a gasket that goes on the end, which looks like this. And I'm replacing the gasket. In fact, when you buy a new EGR valve, got mine from AutoZone. Sponsorship, maybe. Got a Duralast, it was the only one they had. But Duralast is a good brand. It's the new one, nice and shiny. It's not all caked up with carbon and elements and stuff like that. And like I said, they have a gasket inside. So I'm gonna let you know how I was able to get it out first. Let me flip the camera around to show you. Like I said, I've taken everything apart, but just some main things that I was going to do, but I stopped doing. I actually changed. I was actually going to take this air filter out, because what you do is there's some screws there, one here, and then one under there. And I was going to take those out, but I had to take the battery to this one. Do not do that. First of all, they have the little Titan rings like this. We unscrew those to loosen the little grips, these metal grips that clamp the hose onto that particular engine. So that's the main one. I have a 4-cylinder engine. So once you untighten this right here, once you untighten that, focus in on it. Once you untighten that, you can then pull this off of this part of the engine block. All right, pull that out. And what I eventually decided to do was to untighten this part. You have two. You have one goes to the air filter, and this part right here. This one's much easier. So the second screw, unscrewed that, and I was able to just then wiggle this part out, and I could pull up this whole piece. And I put this over to the side. You don't have to take it all apart. Just unscrew those two parts and then move this over to the side like that. Just put that on top, just like that. Okay? Afterwards, if you can see those two holes right here, that's where it was, the EGR valve was attached to the engine block. It has two screws. Where are they? Where are they? Right here. Two long screws. Yeah, what this is. Let me look. I had to use my ratchet. It is a it's a half. It's 1/2 inch. So use that one. I lost mine, so I had to buy a new one. And last time I did this. And then you just remove those two screws, the long screws, easy to get out. Just had to get this in there. I thought I would have to use one of these arms. I did not. Just plug it into the ratchet. You just get in there, and just manually take out both the screws, very easy. And then you take out the hose, which this little, where the air comes through. There's a little hose, let me get down here and show you, right here. You just wiggle that out. And that's it. And then you have a empty part for the EGR valve. So what I'm going to do now is put the new EGR valve into the gasket, EGR valve. But first, before I do all that, I'm going to spray in there with some carbon intake. I bought this, kind of already had some, but some throttle bottom air intake cleaner. Just going to spray in there any carbon fibers, anything that may be cruddy. I'm going to try and clean anything out. And then I'm going to let it sit for a little bit couple minutes, and then I'm going to put the new EGR valve back, and I'll be right back. For you, before I put on the valve, while I was spraying intake, and I used the whole screw to kind of get in there. As you can tell, as you can see the kind of carbon coming out, and I sprayed in there, and all the carbon started coming out more on the right side than the left, and all that stuff started coming out. I started kind of pulling there, put this screw in there, kind of scrubbing there a little bit. This stuff is all cakey, so that's probably why my car failed the emission test. I knew it needed EGR valve. Last time I did this, I actually just used my throttle intake and I cleaned in there real good, as best possible, and that helped. But I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna get a new one, so I don't have to worry about that for a while. And that's what happens. All that carbon gunks up in there and messes up the your sensing and all that stuff when it comes to having a clean engine and pass your emissions test. Alright, be right back. It's going too fast. Started putting the hose on. I got to show you how the new intake valve, let me see if I can get in, or new EGR valve looks. There it is right there. So I put those two screws with the gasket on. I plugged up the little hose. See it right there on the top, into the little top part where the air goes in. I screwed in the two screws into the body. Went in, very simple. And now I put this hose back over. Screwed this one in, and I'm almost finished screwing this one in. Put this hose in. It's kind of tight fit, but it's easy to work. Put this back in and put this over that end port, and all I'm doing is tightening this up, and then that'll be it. But that is how you put in an EGR valve on a 2005 Hyundai Sonata. It probably works the same on the 2001 to 2004 and maybe 2006. EGR valve is right under this air take hose, right under there. Get the clamps out of the way, move this hose back, and you're able to get to the EGR valve straight away. Didn't have to take out the battery like I did. But now I'm gonna have to drive it for about another 100 miles so that everything can be right on the computer when it comes to the sensors and stuff. All right, hope this helps somebody out, because I wish I had something like this when I was looking on YouTube to find out how to put in or replace the EGR valve for 2005 Hyundai Sonata. All right, grace and peace.